Thank everybody for attending today. Today is In the Know webinar, and my name is Wesley Booth. I've been hosting these for the last 8-10 months. I'm a customer care agent in Tucson, Arizona. I work for the national accounts team, so I work with some of the larger firms. So hopefully some of my people I work with are here in the line. Hopefully they will be benefited as well. And welcome everybody. I want to welcome everybody because I talk to a lot of people. And I want to make sure that we give you the information you need. My passion is really training people to make sure they're all up to speed with what we need to do to be the most efficient and productive we can in our work. So we're going to have a couple announcements today, and then we're going to get into a big item here. New exciting product called Practice Management. You should have received an email with that a couple of days ago. We got a new payroll feature where you can now record a paycheck with QuickBooks Online out of order. And that's been something that's been asked for. And then we're going to jump into some apps. Obviously, Bill.com we've had a lot of questions on, so we're going to cover that and a couple other things, and Brandy's going to cover that well for us. So let's just jump into our announcements. Accountant University, those that are looking for CPE credits, I apologize. This event does not have a CPE credit, but for all the other webinars, your client training, your own training, make sure you plug into Accountant University, and we'll have a link for that. There will be a follow-up email tomorrow, 24 hours after the webinar is over. Also, coming up quick in June, almost just about 5 weeks away, Orlando, Florida, Disney World, we're going to have Scaling New Heights. That whole thing is about really taking your business, your practice to the next level. And then, of course, our signature event in November this year is QuickBooks Connect. There's a lot of activity going on there. It's an exciting time. We have just really a lot of good stuff for you. And so we're going to jump right into our content today. And this is a big item, practice management. And the whole idea here is, giving you our accounting professionals confidence that none of your work with your clients slip through the cracks. So today we're going to have two presenters presenting this. The first one is Harsha Jargadish. He's a product manager on the practice management team, and his passion is really helping accountants save time and grow their practice. He's one of our developers, program managers there in Mountain View, and he's been with Intuit for 5 years. And then his tag team buddy here for presenting today is Thiago Caieiros, and he's a product manager on the team. And between the two of them, they're going to really get us into this project management. His passion is delivering time savings, but yeah, savings time, but are you really confident in what you're working with? So welcome Harsh and Thiago. So if you would go ahead and jump in there today, I'd appreciate that.
Awesome. Thank you, Wesley. Thank you for the lovely introduction there. So I'm going to share my screen here quickly, make it full screen. So folks, my name is Harsha. Again, I'm a product manager on QuickBooks Online Accountant. And as Wesley already mentioned, today I'll be covering the brand new practice management coming soon, completely integrated within QuickBooks Online Accountant. So before I talk about this particular slide which you're seeing on your screen, I want to really emphasize that our mission for QuickBooks Online Accountant is to really become your operating system. We want to become accountants' operating system. What that really means that we are really building comprehensive solutions that really work better together than any other solution available in the market, something you all accounting pros can actually build your practice on by managing all your clients, including your work. So today I'm super excited to announce that we are entering practice management space in QuickBooks Online Accountant, and the new practice management coming in the next few weeks will allow all your accounting professionals to manage all your clients, including all your work across all your services from one place so that nothing falls through the cracks. So our goal is to really give you one tool to manage all your clients, including all your work in this one place QBOA so that nothing falls through the cracks. So before I talk about the solution and give you guys a quick preview into the practice management on QBOA, I also want to quickly share that everything here at Intuit starts with our customers. So 6 months ago, a team of us, including product managers, designers, and developers, really went on to watch accountants to really understand how they complete their work, talk to them, and really learned 3 big things in terms of how they manage their work. The first thing is everything accountants do is completely deadline driven. And one classic example which is really near and dear to my heart is running payroll for one client just one time has so many different deadlines associated to it. Just missing that one deadline associated with one payroll for one client can have a serious implication in terms of client confidence, in terms of losing client confidence, and even losing clients. So everything accountants do is completely deadline driven, and if you multiply the deadlines across clients and across services, the number of deadlines accountants needs to manage is really too many and really can grow insane. So since the deadlines can grow rapidly and then missing a deadline can cause fines and losing a client, we also saw accountants use a lot of variety of tools to really create structure and maintain a process so that nothing actually falls through the cracks. And what we saw is accountants using so many different tools, starting from Excel. Some accountants were using whiteboards, to even accountants using tools like Asana and task management solutions to really create a structure that nothing falls through the cracks. And the third big thing which we saw is with all these tools accountants are using today, they have to constantly maintain the tool, and then none of these tools actually live where accountants actually do the work. Let me give you a quick example. So most of the times we saw accountants actually working inside their client's QuickBooks Online through QuickBooks Online Accountant, but most of the tools they were using to create structure and make sure nothing falls through the cracks in terms of making sure deadlines are hit and making sure the work is getting completed is living in another place. One classic example, if I remember, was accounting team members were using a separate tool to manage all the work they need to do on a daily basis, and the accountant firm owners was using a different tool to manage all the client work which needs to be done, and these two were completely disconnected. So every time a team member had to update a task, the accountant firm owner need to completely sync with the tool, and none of these tools were connected, and none of these tools lived where accountants actually do the work, bringing a lot of maintenance burden and requiring constant maintenance on the tools as the work gets completed. So here at QuickBooks Online Accountant, our goal is to really give you guys confidence that nothing falls through the cracks, and we are building the practice management solution which will allow you and all your team members to manage all your clients, including all your work across all your services from one place, which is QuickBooks Online Accountant. So I'm going to quickly jump into the demo to give you guys a quick preview into what's coming in the next few weeks in terms of when you launch the QuickBooks Online Accountant, what you will be seeing in terms of managing all your work. So what you guys are seeing here is pretty familiar to many accountants. So this is the online version of QuickBooks Online Accountant, and this is the client list. So once we launch the brand new practice management in the next coming weeks, you guys will start noticing a new tab on your left nav under your practice called the Work. Once you launch the Work tab, you will basically see a calendar view of all the tasks which need to be done for your clients across all the services, due today, due this week, due next week, and in the next 30 days. So this will basically give accountants a bird's eye view into all the work which needs to be done starting today all the way up to the next 30 days. And as an accountant firm owner, you can quickly filter these tasks and to-dos based on clients. So you can quickly check how many tasks are due for client A company, and then that will just show the work which needs to be done for A company. You can also do capacity planning so that nothing falls through the cracks and your team members are allocated the right amount of work by quickly filtering by team members. So you can quickly check how many tasks Bill is allocated, and if there are no tasks allocated to Bill, you can quickly assign work to Bill. And in terms of how many tasks are associated to you, you can quickly filter down to see how many tasks and to-dos you need to do today, this week, so that you can quickly understand what's the work you need to do today, along with what's the work which is coming in the next week, next 30 days. And also you can quickly do on-the-fly changes to these tasks. So let's say you have a team member who is going on vacation, you can quickly assign these tasks to one of your different team members so that work gets completed on time and your clients are happy and nothing falls through the cracks. So in this case, if Harsha is going on vacation, you can quickly assign it to Dawn. So that task is assigned to Dawn, and Dawn is automatically notified. And this is all in real time. Dawn is notified there's a new task coming his way, and that will show up when he logs into his QBOA and then launches this work tab. One of the other things which is a big highlight in this is what you're seeing at the bottom here is automatic tasks which are actually suggested from QuickBooks. So let's say you have payroll clients. So Chicago Moving Company is a client, one of your clients whom you run biweekly payroll. You don't have to create any more tasks to track payroll due dates because we exactly know when you run payroll inside Chicago Moving Company's QBOP. So every payroll due date is automatically pulled from the client's QuickBooks and automatically shown on this 360-degree dashboard so that most of the tasks you create are shown along with the tasks we automatically suggest you based on the data we know from clients' books. So moving on, we also created an easy way for you to track projects. So you also will have an ability to create projects right from the work tab so that you can manage all your projects and tasks from this one place. So let me start with a project, say bookkeeping for the month of May, and then let me select a client. I say Bill's Cake Shop. You can also quickly give it a due date, and it can be up to any day in the next future days. And then let's say I'll give it a due date of May 31st. I'll assign the project to myself, being a firm owner. I can add some details here. One of the things which we also learned from accountants is as a firm owner, most of the firm owners are looking to really create efficiency in their team members. So usually they create a project and also a process along with the project. So we also incorporated by including tasks as part of your project. So if you have a really big project like bookkeeping for the month of May, you can actually go ahead and create these tasks which are smaller steps which can accomplish the greater task. So you can actually break down the bookkeeping project into multiple tasks, like let's say reconcile books, and then each of these tasks can also have a separate due date. So in case this has to happen on the May 10th so that you can finish the whole bookkeeping job by the 31st, you can set a due date for that. You can also assign this to different team members. So let's say I assigned reconcile books to Kelly, one of the team members. I can also add some more details. And then once I do everything, I can quickly save this, and then that will show up on my dashboard, which will give me all the work which needs to be done over the next 30 days. So that's a quick preview of Practice Management Feature 1, which is managing all your work from QuickBooks Online Accountant so that nothing falls through the cracks. We also built in collaboration capabilities inside Practice Management because we learned that 60% of the time accountants spend in their firm is really collecting documents and making sure all their clients' documents are in place so that they can actually focus on the work and continue doing the work. So we also built in an awesome integrated experience within QuickBooks Online Accountant so you can actually request documents from your clients. And then Tiago, my peer here on the call, is going to walk us through how collaboration capabilities play inside Practice Management.
Thanks, Harsha. I'm just changing the screen here. Just give me a second. And I hope you can see my screen. Otherwise, let me know. So I'm just going to show the collaboration capabilities that Harsha was talking about. Let me just go to the work session that he was there. So as you can see on the top right, we are giving accountants the option to create a client request. We learned from the accountants that to start the bookkeeping process, they do need bank statements, credit card statements, and even during the bookkeeping process, they might have to ask for a specific question or even ask for a receipt. Let's say the client spent $1,000 in Costco and you want to understand if it was personal or business or something like this. For this specific situation, I'm going to show how an accountant would request for a specific document, let's say a credit card statement. So the first step would be to create a client request. And you would select please send the credit card statement for last month. And then here you can select the client that you want to send, also specify a due date. Let's say this is going to be for the 10th. And then you can ask more details. Could you please send the statement as statement? And you can also add already add a document. Sometimes you want to give a document in for reference if there's something that a report that you create or something that you want to take a look. And then before you send the request to your clients, you're going to be able to publish to the client books. And I'm going to show the experience in QuickBooks, but basically the small business will be able to see this request in QBO. And when you are publishing, you either can notify your client by email or uncheck this if you don't want to. So in this case, let me notify by email. So whenever you click here, we're going to show you a preview, email preview, where you can maybe change the content of the email and review the email, or even like double check the email address. We pre-populate with the client email address, but sometimes you want to send to someone else, or even change the subject. So as soon as you click publish here, what happens is that the small business will receive that email that will, whenever they click, they're going to go to QBO to see the request, or even if they, whenever they log into QBO, they're going to see that specific request. Also, as you can see, it also created a new card here, and where you're going to have access to this request whenever you want. And you can add comments. I'm going to get to this point in a few minutes. So let's go and take a look what the small business will see when they log into QBO. So I'm just moving here to the client's QBO account, and the small business, they are going to have this new section on the left now, the My Accountant section. Whenever they click here, they are going to see all the requests that you send to you, your client, and also all the documents that you share with your client, and also what your client share with him. What I just want to emphasize here, that this is just the first version. The way we're seeing this, that we want to build this My Accountant section QBO as the place to build the relationship between the small business and the accountants. And so the expectation here is that we keep building this section here to help you guys make your clients successful. So going back to that specific use case, your client, your small business will come here and see a list of the request, and then this is the specific one that we're talking about, the credit card statement. Whenever they click here, they're going to see the details, and they're going to be able to add a specific document. In this case, is adding a credit card statement, and also he might just send a comment, say, hey, could you confirm that everything is fine? So what we know is that sometimes it's not going to be straightforward, and he might still have questions. So that's where the place that the comments will be used, so that he can post you a comment to the accountant, and the accountant at this moment will receive an email notification that something, that the request has been changed, and he's going to be able to see that request on QBOA. The other thing that you can see is that the status of the request changed from to do to in progress automatically when the client responded to this request. Going to this other section here, the shared documents, this right now for this first version, we're bringing like a place where you and your clients can share documents. So both you and your clients will be able to upload new files and delete or edit. And for this one specifically, the accountant, the small business can take a look, okay, this is the document that I just uploaded, and even if you don't know the specific request in the future, you can click here, and then you can go to the request that this document has been uploaded to. So going back to the accountant side, just to wrap this up, you're going to see that that specific request that was created has been updated on the accountant side, and the accountant will be able to click here and see the comment, the new document, and also the comment from the client, and then the accountant will be able to respond to the client if he wants to. Also, whenever they go to the client section right now and they click to the client detail part, we also have a new tab, the shared documents, which is basically the same folder, shared folder that you saw on the small business side, however, on the accountant side for the accountant. So this is the client and accountant collaboration. So Harsha, you can move on the presentation.
Awesome. Thank you, Tiago. So I'm going to share my screen here. So what Tiago was sharing is the collaboration capabilities. So the first version of practice management, if you now tie it together and stitch both the demos together, has two core capabilities where you can manage all your work inside QBOA by creating projects and tasks and quickly understand where your work is when you log into QBOA across all your clients, across your team members, across all your services. And our goal is to give accountants confidence that nothing falls through the cracks. Again, the last part of the demo is we also built in a list view into the work tab recently by hearing a lot of feedback from our beta customers so that accountants can also quickly sort the tasks by to-do, what's in progress, and this view also gives accountants a way to quickly check what are the items which were completed in the past week, and they can also sort and easily slice and dice the data based on due dates, what are the tasks which are overdue, quickly sort by the project, tasks, and requests. So this is, again, a customization which is completely built in inside practice management. If accountants love the calendar view, which gives due today, this week, they can use this one. If they have to do more planning in terms of what's coming in the future, not just within the next 30 days, they can use the list view, and they can use the sorting functionality on the columns to quickly understand what are the tasks which are due over the last 30 days, over the next 30 days, or also beyond the 30 days. And if I quickly jump back into the presentation mode, again, quickly wrapping up, this is all coming to QuickBooks Online Accountant completely free to all accountants across all the regions, not just the US. And all the functionality which Tiago and I demoed today morning in terms of managing your work and also collaborating, everything will be working also on your phone so that task management is something which you don't do just when you're at your desk, but also when you're on the go, so that you can quickly add tasks on your phone and quickly check what's the work which is coming, be it whether you're on the road or be it whether you're at your client's office. A quick recap from today morning, these are the big takeaways. A new dashboard is quickly coming into QuickBooks Online Accountant, and our goal is to really give accountants confidence that nothing will fall through cracks. Efficiency is completely built in. It will really take you seconds to create projects and tasks and assign it to team members. And this is completely integrated within QuickBooks Online Accountant so that we can quickly understand what's the work which needs to be done inside your client's file so that we can automatically create suggestions based on what we know in terms of payroll due, uncategorized transactions. Again, this is completely free across the regions, not just the US. In all the regions we are live today. Will be coming soon in the next few weeks. And again, one big thing I want to emphasize today is this is our first version of practice management, and really committed here to improve features as we go. So this first version of practice management is really our first slice of functionalities which is coming in the next few days. But want to really enforce that this is one of the high priorities which we are looking at to improve more functionality by bringing in more recurring tasks, different views, and building more functionality so that it can be more robust in the next few days. But first version is really coming out pretty soon. So keep an eye out on emails, newsletters. There will be more updates available in the next few weeks on our website. Also, feel free to reach out if you guys are interested to work with us directly. If you're really passionate about the demo which we showed today, if you're really interested to provide us input, work directly with our team on how you envision using practice management for your firm, we would love to hear from you guys so that we can actually take all that input and add it to our next set of versions, which is coming in the next few months. So if you guys want to reach out to us, please send us your name and phone number to practicemanagement@intuit.com, and we'll soon be in touch with you. So that's what I wanted to show today in terms of practice management, and we'll be taking any questions now. All right, so I think we have our first question here. Are there recurring tasks coming to practice management? Are there going to be tasks which support recurring? That's a great question. For the first version of practice management, there won't be recurring tasks, but we do know that most of the work accountants do is recurring. So recurring is something the team is actively working on integrating with the existing functionality. So the first version, which is going live, will not have recurring tasks, but that's going to be a quick follow-up in the next few weeks so that you can start using the existing functionality, and then soon you will notice there's also a way to set up recurring projects so that you can actually set up one time and the project records on certain intervals like monthly, bi-weekly, or maybe yearly. So that's something we are actively working. And if you guys are interested to provide more feedback, please reach out to practicemanagement@intuit.com.
Okay, hey, Harsha, could you put that slide back up there with the practice management email on there? Because we want to make sure we get that. So go ahead and write that down. So we want to make sure you capture that. Also, Harsha, kind of not really asked, but is there if they're in product, is there a quick, easy way to do feedback when they're right there in product when they're thinking about something? Is that easy for them to give feedback when they're actually on that page, work page?
That's a great question, Wesley. So right now we don't have any way so that users can provide feedback. We can consider adding that in the next few weeks, but the easiest way to reach out to teams right now is directly emailing practice management until we bring in that capability inside the work tab.
Okay, so audience, we'll make sure that this email address is included in the follow-up email that will go out in about 24 hours. So we'll just make sure that we have practice management contact information in there. So go ahead and write that down, and we'll send that out to an email that will be sent out tomorrow with all the attendees. I know you covered it, Harsha, on regions, but if you could just maybe, so all regions are going to get it. How soon is, I mean, a few weeks, is that we're talking a week or two or three? Are we going to roll it out in phases by region, or do we turn it on to the whole world at once?
Great question again. Super transparent again here. We are actually in a closed beta with 70 customers across US, UK, Canada, and France, and also Australia. So the goal is to finish the closed beta the next few weeks and roll this sometime in the month of May. Across the regions, we are still working on the details of the release, whether it's going to be a phased rollout or whether it's going to be a one-time big bang. So we are still working on the weeds of the details here. But definitely in the next few weeks, you guys will have hands-on experience on the new practice management.
Yeah, and thanks, Harsh. I want to just follow up on that with just a bit for the audience's sake. When we have 2 million people using a product, we have to be very cognizant of how we roll out these new features. You probably have noticed that even if you have a Microsoft Windows computer, those operating systems are not without flaws and issues, and there's always patches. Every month you get security updates and stuff. Anything that's robust is going to have, that's the nature of software, but we're really doing the best we can to make sure it's as stable and functional as we can, and your feedback is always really helpful on that. Another question here is, you mentioned about notifications. So when you send a client or a teammate a task, or let's say you ask for a document from your client, is there options for email? How does the client or your teammate get those notifications?
So I can
Great question. Tiago, go for it.
Yes, I can take this on the collaboration side. So in terms of when you're collaborating with your client, when you're creating the request, you have the option to send a notification by email, but also, and so that the small business will receive it. But also, whenever there's an update on the request, if the small business posts a comment, the accountant will receive a notification, and vice versa. So yes, there will be notification on both sides. for notification about tasks and jobs. And Harsha, do you want to answer this one?
Yep, sure. So right now, the first version of practice management does have notifications if you're requesting documents from your clients. We are also working on bringing in a centralized notification system, even if inside QBOA, so that if you assign a task to someone within your firm, you can actually get a notification. That's something which will be coming really soon. I think I'm going to emphasize again that this is really the first version of practice management. We are actively looking on building more functionalities in the next months, and this is going to be a high priority thing which we'll be working on. So you guys will start seeing more and more features coming in the next few months after our first release.
Yeah, no, just thanks, Harsha and Shago. And keep tuning into the In the Know webinar, because this would be a good venue. Hey, we got this new feature coming out, recurring event tasks coming out, those types of things. We'll make sure that whenever this new features are rolled out, and we will cover and try to update you with this webinar. That's the purpose of this webinar. And I have one more question for you, Harsha. Self-employment. I know we push a lot of self-employment these days, because we have all this self-employment world out there that we need to service, and obviously it's disruptive to the entire establishment, including QuickBooks and many of your accountants. Well, we don't deal with those kinds of people, but one thing we've learned in this world, guaranteed other than death and taxes, is change. So how does self-employment work with this new feature?
So I can take this one. For the first version, we are enabling collaboration between accountants in QBOA and small business in QBO. But we're already working on enabling the collaboration with also clients outside QBO, which will include QBOC as well, self-employed as well.
Okay, thanks, Shago. And Harsha, thanks for presenting today. There's a few more questions in there. We're not going to take any more questions live today, but we will get some questions. One of the questions we're specifically going to answer in the follow-up is, size limitations and how these files get back and forth with your clients, and we'll make sure that you have a good handle on some of these other questions that have come in there. So thanks, Shago and Harsha, for presenting today. And now our next item we have today, we have a new payroll feature coming out. The last few months we've been adding some payroll correction options. I know a lot of you accountants come from the desktop and you're complaining about some of the limitations on payroll. So we have a new feature, correction feature we have today, being able to record a paycheck out of order. And to present that, we have today Andy Keel, one of our customer experience leader. And these customer experience leaders, these are the guys that get your feedback. So when you're in there and you push that gear feedback, Andy reads these. I mean, we got real flesh on the ground reading these comments. So Andy his passion is taking your comments and simplifying your payroll experience so we can make payroll do what you need to do. So thanks for presenting today, Andy.
Thanks, Wesley. So what I'd like to share with everyone today is a new feature we just released a couple weeks back, which gives you the ability to record a paycheck out of order even in a previous quarter. And what really makes this feature special is when this happens, we'll actually catch this and automatically go in and recalculate taxes on the subsequent paychecks that were done later. So it will do a recalculation for anything that happened later in case FUTA, SUI, any of the wage bases that change on a later check. And then, of course, what's really nice about this is we'll send out a notification if a client does this, the accountant will get a notification, and the master administrator will also receive a notification of the change if it's done in a previous quarter, so we're not blindsided by needing to do an amended payroll form. If something should change where the employee's net would change due to things like, say, California state disability insurance would change or something like that, we'll automatically be able to recapture that amount on the next check for the employee or pay it back to the employee on the next check. It will automatically occur. So basically the only thing we're not supporting with an out-of-order check is if it's if we need to void and recreate a fringe benefit check. We'll still have to assist you with that by calling support. So with that, I'd like to just actually go into the demo here. So in this particular situation, we have a payroll account, and this is actually pretty timely for our time of the year here, today being the 28th of April. We've already, in this particular account, filed a few forms for first quarter. So you can see that by the screen that we've already archived these forms as if they were filed. So a couple of examples here. We're going to go into one employee, Brian Williams, for starters. We've already caught 2 mistakes that we need to correct. So the first mistake we'll go in and fix here is Brian wrote himself a check on January 31st and never bothered to record it in the system. So we need to go in out of order here and fix this. So you can see that, nope, there's no check in here recorded on the end of January. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. So I'm going to go here and run a payroll. And Brian's on a monthly pay schedule. So I'm going to go ahead and issue his check on the 31st of January. And you can see that we're already throwing a warning here, but we can do it now. So I'm going to go ahead and preview this payroll. It's just for his regular salary. And we're going to throw a warning here just to not take this lightly, because obviously we're recording a paycheck in a previous quarter when a form has been filed. I'll go ahead and click continue. And we can review the net pay that matches what actually happened and wasn't recorded. And I'll go ahead and click submit. And there we go. So we can go ahead and print a fresh pay stub if that was never done before, and click finish payroll. So what's happening actually here in the background, I'll go back into Brian's paycheck list. Can go back in here and see that this check is now in the system. And what actually happened is we did a recalculation of the taxes in the background for the subsequent checks to make sure that all the tax calculations were proper for the check in the right time sequence. So moving on to our second example, we have our second employee here, Dewey. And we realized that we just had a minor mistake with his January 31st check as well. We recorded all of his hours under salary when we should have had 20 hours under the sick pay. So I'm going to go in here and say, oh gosh, yep, we have 173.33 hours. We didn't have any sick pay, so I'm going to go ahead and void this check. Again, we're going to put a warning out here about voiding a paycheck in a previous quarter. And what the system is going to do here is create an offsetting entry to basically reverse that out. And then I'm going to go in here and create a replacement check for him. Again, January 31st. And this time I'm going to add his 20 hours of sick pay. Again, it's going to give me a warning. And another warning here, but this time we're allowed to go ahead and create that that check out of sequence and finish the payroll. Again, the system is going to go in and double check any tax calculations to make sure everything is accurate. And then finally, what will happen at the end of the day we're going to go in here and send out an email to remind you to file amended tax forms. And that's just a quick example of one of the emails that gets sent out that goes to the master administrator of the account and also the accountant if on file. So with that, I can open it up to questions.
Sorry, I had to find my mute button there. Andy, a couple of things. Don't really have a whole lot of questions in there. But on that recalculation, so if we did a January check, we're going to have to do the amended form for the first quarter, obviously. But my question is now that's going to affect, let's say if we did W-2 today, that's kind of where I'm going with the employee side. That would then give us a current W-2 if this was the last, let's say today was the last paycheck for that person. So that would correct everything for that W-2 for that employee?
So the yes, it would update the W-2 as long as it wasn't already filed. So what happens is we do a check to see if a W-2 was actually filed before we allow this to occur. So that's what we determine as the hard stop of we won't allow you to go in and record a check out of order if a W-2 has been filed.
Okay. But then we'd obviously now on the first quarter 941 or the state forms, we'd have to do a amendment on those. And those would have to be done outside the system because our payroll system doesn't do amendments, right, inside it.
That is correct. Yeah, that's the reason for the reminder email, because we don't support the amended forms directly. And we want to make, and that's why we put a fairly harsh warning in there and send out this amended email. We're trying to walk the fine line between not letting anyone get into too much trouble by doing things that they shouldn't normally do, like create a paycheck in a previous quarter. But we hear loud and clear that customers need to do things reminiscent of what they can do in desktop. Like, hey, I could do it in desktop. I really need to be able to do this. So we figured this was really the best of both worlds to be able to give more flexibility, but also notify the proper parties that you did something that's going to need further action.
Okay, now we have audience online, and some of them use IOP. Is this working just in the QBOP, the QuickBooks Online with payroll, or the Intuit Online payroll without the QuickBooks side?
Yeah, unfortunately, this is only available in the QuickBooks Online payroll at this time.
Okay, so we have a lot of audience that has full service. Is that something you can answer, or do we need to take that after the fact, whether this works in full service payroll?
We're looking at expanding this or some of the features in this payroll corrections into full service in the near future, but we're not there yet. So it does not exist in full service payroll as of yet.
Yeah, and I just want to take on just like even in practice management, I want to reiterate. Please give us feedback because we're building this whole QuickBooks ecosystem, and I use the word ecosystem because it's more than just record keeping anymore. So we need your feedbacks. Like, what do we develop? What do we put our energy into? As we're moving forward. And Andy's one of the people that actually sees your feedback on the payroll side. So a couple of just real quick, easy questions here before we move on to the next topic. Obviously, this is going to affect our unemployment, our reconciles. I mean, so obviously we're going to have to do some homework after we make some changes, right?
Yes, I mean, there definitely could be some things that occur here, and again, that's the whole point of the reminder warning email. Each reason for a payroll correction like this can vary a little bit, so there's no one simple answer for all situations. There may be a journal entry that's required to deal with certain situation. It really depends on the item. So
Okay, so that means our accounting professionals are, our tools are here to help you, but we can't do everything for you. We'd like to be able to do everything for you so you don't even have to do any work, but we're not quite there yet. So give us a couple more months before we get there. So that's all we're going to handle with the payroll, because we're going to run it into time to get into our next presentation here. So thanks, Andy, for presenting today. And now we're going to get into everybody's favorite area. We're going to get into some apps. We want to make sure we're up to speed on our apps as well. So we're going to get over to Brandy here, and she's going to present some apps information for us today. So we got a, looks like she's got a little T-sheets teaser for us. Online bill pay. That's something that been asked for quite a bit, and Bill My Time from Google Calendar. I will let Brandy explain what those items are. And presenting these apps today, we have Brandy Black. She's a senior customer experience specialist. So she's another one of these people in Tucson that hears your comments, tries to do her best to give you the products to need. And her passion is connecting our customers into this ecosystem. And you may be aware of, we're using the word ecosystem. Self-employed, payroll, practice management, it's a whole ecosystem. We want to make a one-stop shop for your accounting practice. So thank you, Brandy, for presenting today.
Thanks for having me. So we'll go ahead and get into the app space here, and I just wanted to kind of give you guys a little visual of understanding, how you all work as accountants and everybody between small businesses and our developers here at Intuit. And our developers are also our outside small business customers as well, and they create a lot of our products that we are starting to actually integrate within QuickBooks. So I'm sure that many of you have had to add an application to, or sync up an application to QuickBooks Online in order to kind of fill that gap that QuickBooks might be missing in order for you to run your business. So you're super important as an accountant or even as a small business owner to be able to make this circle complete and successful. So we're in the works of obviously making an all-in-one platform for small businesses, and this is where it starts. So today we're going to talk a little bit about T-sheets. I'm just going to touch on it a little bit here. Since I'm sure most people are pretty well aware of it, and T-sheets has been a wonderful partner of ours. We have actually integrated T-sheets capability of being able to track and manage employee time from the mobile app into QuickBooks Online. So for quite some time now, we've actually heard the request from a lot of our customers for GPS time tracking and overall just a better time tracking experience in QuickBooks Online. So we listened and we teamed up with T-sheets to integrate their product into QuickBooks. So now small business can actually view, edit, and approve timesheets, as well as invoice billable time and run payroll all within one platform of QuickBooks Online. So pretty awesome stuff. We are taking the opportunities that we have with these other developers and being able to partner together to better the business for everyone, as well as yourself and the success for small business owners. So today, if you were to log into the App Center of QuickBooks Online, you will be able to then find our T-sheets app. And upon signing up for the T-sheets app, it will set you up with the integration. So there's no worrying about if there's two versions of the T-sheets app and the way it works with QBO. It is all seamlessly working as one now. You still have the functionality of the mobile on the T-sheets for your employees, and they can run their tracking and everything from their own devices, as well as the full-blown interface of T-sheets in their website. However, in order to manage time, edit it, approve it, run payroll, or actually invoice your customers, can all be done within QuickBooks now, since everything syncs right on over. So I did want to share a little screenshot here with you guys of what it would look like to see the GPS location as well as the fine details within the timesheet for an individual. And it's a pretty nifty thing to see this coming to life after we haven't had something like this built in for some time now. So I'll go ahead and we're going to move forward. One of the biggest things that I know that everyone's been wondering about is this online bill pay. It's been a feature that we've been lacking for some time in QuickBooks Online, and has also been a very big pain point for a lot of customers. So the second integration that we have launched is online bill pay, and it's just powered by our partners at Bill.com. The integration is different from the Bill.com app that syncs with QuickBooks Online. Within the actual app, Bill.com allows for accounts payable and accounts receivable managing. However, with our online bill pay, within the product, we are only going to be managing accounts payable. So this is a bill pay feature since we already have invoicing and payments options built in. This is going to only handle the accounts payable side. So with the online bill pay, we now are able to offer the ability for our customers to be able to pay their vendors via check or an ACH, or as we call a bank transfer, without having to log in to another system or even your bank account. So you can go ahead and pay everything right here from one space. This is just a little quick preview of what your screen, your bill pay screen will look like. It's a little different than your normal record bill screen in QBO. And you'll notice that you're able to set up with a bank transfer or pay them via check here. So it's super simple to set up. Just easy as signing up, adding your bank account, you go in, you pay your bills, and it's all in one area. So it's really simple to get yourself going in it, and is a quick, easy setup process. The only process that's a little bit of time consuming for the setup is that you will go through an underwriting process, which is verifying your identity within the Bill.com system. So from Bill.com, in order to secure your account and make sure that they are able to keep everything in one account, that they actually have you go through an underwriting process to make sure you are who you are and that you are using your own bank account. One thing that we will be launching today in our second phase will be that we actually are going to enable the ability for all admin users to be able to use this feature now. So you can turn on for specific bank accounts for certain users to use, so that you can have a couple admin users using one, and maybe a bank account that you don't want any admin users but yourself using. So we're giving more functionality, more customization, being able to integrate that way. So with online bill pay, you are now able to actually import documents, which is really cool. This phase is actually in a beta state right now, as we're just trying to fine tune it, but it is available to anyone that has online bill pay or would like to sign up for online bill pay. You're able to import the documents and instantly convert them into a bill or vendor credits. You can also have the ability of having your vendors email these documents. As you see here on the screen, you can customize your email address, give that email address to your vendors, and your vendors then can just simply email their bill over to you and it'll instantly import into QuickBooks, and then you can convert that over into a bill with the attachment linked to that bill for referencing. So super simple on the behalf of small businesses now. They don't have to actually go in and manually enter a bunch of stuff. Their vendors can go ahead and just send it right over, which is awesome. You also do have, oh, I'm going, sorry, let me skip forward here. So this is the screen here that once your bill is actually imported, we'll take care of all the paperwork, kind of condense that and digitize it for you and give the ability for you to either convert that over to the bill or a vendor credit if necessary upon importing. So the option here with this is that if you're looking to actually pay your vendors with the ACH or the check, you can go ahead and ask your vendor to be a part of the Bill.com network. They have a great large list of vendors that are part of their network. The ones that are more well-known, like Verizon or AT&T or Comcast, that are well-known in the nation, those are within their national network and will always automatically be set up for bank transfers. You will never have to send them a paper check. But maybe your small local vendor might not be part of the Bill.com network, and you can either invite them to be a part of the network, or you can actually manually enter their information now as a private vendor for you specifically, so that they're not going in and signing up for a Bill.com network. And lastly, your vendors will never see your bank account or your routing information, which is quite amazing. Bill.com will be the one cutting the checks for your vendors so that your information is always secure. All payments are made through QuickBooks, through the online bill pay system, and they can be tracked within bill pay as well, or excuse me, within QuickBooks Online as well. So as you see here on the screen, a preview of what the check would look like. It is signed by Bill.com. It will have Bill.com's account and routing information, so yours will never be exposed to your vendor, but you'll always be able to see what is sent off to your vendors. A couple extra features that I want to just go ahead and touch base on that will be actually coming out over the weekend within the new bill pay is that we will be launching the ability to actually go in or is the vendor credit conversion. So going back just a step here within this feature of incoming documents, you will be able to actually do the vendor credit. So currently today it's not available. Over the weekend that will be launching. You also have the ability to customize your message, your invite message to your vendors, which is awesome. You're not sounding so canned or your vendors aren't getting the same message from every customer of theirs. You can make it unique to yourself and tailor it to your needs. So those are a couple new improvements we've made to the online system. So just before we wrap up here and move on to the next integration, I do want to go ahead and state though, as of right now, our online bill pay is limited to whom can discover this option within QuickBooks. So do not be alarmed if you are not seeing an option to sign up for it within your QuickBooks at the time. That will soon roll out to 100% of our customers. Right now we have it at a small percent. However, if you or one of your clients wish to go ahead and sign up for the bill pay or try it out, we do have a link we can provide for you that you can go ahead and sign up with it instead of waiting for that alert to happen within your system in the future. So I will make sure that we can get that out to the individuals that need that and that you are capable of go ahead and signing up and checking it out and moving forward with the product if you'd like. And lastly, we have is Bill My Time from Google Calendar. So many of you might have seen Google Calendar integration in the past. We've actually renamed it called Bill My Time so that we are specifying exactly what the Google Calendar events are to be used for within QuickBooks. It is for billable time. It is not an alert system to remind you of calendar events that are up and coming as like an alert system. It is strictly for billing time to your customers. So here, you're able to easily connect your account and get all of your calendars on your account to be made available within QuickBooks Online. As you see here on our invoice screen, you will now be presented once you sign up with a little Google Calendar icon underneath your line items. And by clicking on so, you'll then be presented with the drawer that pops out from the right. Here on the screen, you will see all of your events that are listed within Google Calendar in the calendar in which you select under the calendar dropdown and the date range provided. Recently, we have launched a new feature here, which will also allow you the option to search. So there is a new search feature on this drawer. So you can search by text, which is a really nice feature if you have a lot of events on your calendar.
Thank you.
Once you've added your Google Calendar event to your invoice, you will then see it show up on the line items here with the designated product and service.
Just coming back on Tuesday.
Your Google Calendar.
Same. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much.
So once you've added that, you can go ahead and make any edits necessary here. The one call out, which I will go ahead and state, which is in many of our reference articles as well, is that if you are to make any changes after adding the product to the invoice, you'll want to make sure that you copy your description as it will change, and you'll need to paste it back in.
I think it's when they're this morning. Yeah.
So just a little side note.
Muted.
We have actually eliminated the pesky task of using special tagging. Prior in V2 or V1, we required you to add a plus sign or a dollar amount sign to get it just to sync over into QuickBooks. And we said, you know what, let's get rid of that. This is a huge pain point for our customers. We need to make this as simple as possible. So now we've made it readily available by any event that you place into your Google Calendar will be available for you to add to any QuickBooks invoice. They are not assigned to specific customers either, so that you're able to view all of them on any invoice. So once you've added it, you can simply go ahead and send your invoice off and hopes to get paid a little bit quicker and save a little bit of time for yourself. So in this, Google Calendar currently is right now in beta of V2, and you're welcome to go to the App Store and sign up for the opt-in to beta, you'll fill out a short form, which will then be sent off to our developer team. They will then get back to you, sending you a link for signing up, and then you'll be on your way and starting the process and setting up the Bill My Time. This is a free integration. I encourage anyone and everyone to go and try it, give us feedback, let us know what we can improve and what things we can change so that we can go ahead and make this the best integration with Google as we continue our partnership with them. And so at any point in time, even if you aren't going to be using it for your own personal invoicing, I definitely recommend just signing up for it and understanding it so that maybe you can provide that to your clients as well for a recommendation. With that, that encompasses apps and what I have been wanting to present to you guys for some time.
Okay, hey, thanks, Brandy. I apologize to the audience that we won't be able to get into some of the questions that came through on that, but we will follow up. Obviously, there's a lot of questions that we did not cover, so all the questions for Brandy's, the apps and everything else. So go ahead and put your questions in there. If you had a last question, we're going to be shutting down the webinar here in just a moment. And I want to make sure that everybody knows about our Accountants Help Hub. And you can get, if you're in the QBOA dashboard, you click on the question mark, it's going to be on that flyout right there. So want to make sure you're always giving us feedback so we can build the best product possible. So thanks, Brandy, for the apps, and thanks, Harsha, and Thiago, and Andy for your presentations today. So we are out of time. I do apologize that. So make sure you check out Accountant University. We even have training for your clients as well to bring them up to speed. So again, I want to say that we're going to send out a follow-up email tomorrow about 24 hours after right now. And we won't have necessarily the answers to all your questions in that. There's going to be some links to the items here on this page. So look for that. And then as soon as the recording is posted on our Accountant Help Hub, and we have all the questions condensed and ready to respond to you, we will send out an email so you'll have that as well. So I just want to say thanks everybody for attending today. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we look forward to seeing you in May.